Let's talk about every LEGO Marvel Miles Morales minifigure ever made, including the extremely rare LEGO Miles Morales Spider-Man PlayStation exclusive minifigure. What's up, LEGO fans, and welcome to my channel, Pete's Bricks, the LEGO channel for the common LEGO fan. Today we're talking all things LEGO Miles Morales. Miles is a character who has really risen in popularity thanks to the Spider-Verse movies. I know Across the Spider-Verse is doing great in the box office, breaking all sorts of records. It came out a few weeks ago, but I know it's still trending, so I thought this would be a perfect time to look at every LEGO minifigure of the character. There have been a total of 8 different LEGO Spider-Man Miles Morales minifigures ever made, so let's go ahead and jump right into this video with the very first one, all the way back from 2015. The first Miles Spider-Man minifigure came out in 2015, and it came out in a very small, $13 or $12 set, which was a very accessible way of getting the character at the time. This version of the character was based off of the cartoon that was airing on Disney XD at the time, Ultimate Spider-Man or Ultimate Spider-Man Web Warriors, where he made a cartoon appearance alongside Peter Parker and a bunch of whole other Spider-Man variants. Funny enough, this is the only Miles Morales minifigure that I actually have. There it is right there. Of course, the picture is thrown up right next to me, so you can see things a bit more clear, but this is the only version of Miles I have. I like the minifigure. I think it's fine. Though if you look at it compared to the other versions that we'll see very shortly, it is a bit more cartoony, mainly because it was based on a cartoon. But yeah, a bit more simple, simplistic printing, cartoony eyes, though it goes very well with the other Web Warrior minifigures that LEGO already released, specifically the Peter Parker Spider-Man, which I'll throw up right on the screen right there so you can kind of see those. I do have most of the other characters from that cartoon. I got Spider-Man, Iron Fist, Nova, and White Tiger. The only minifigure I am still missing is Power Man, aka Luke Cage. But all in all, I think this is a pretty decent Miles minifigure, especially being the first one that LEGO ever made. Though I will say that he is kind of overshadowed in the first set that he came in by the villain Carnage. This Carnage minifigure in particular is the most detailed LEGO Carnage that they have ever made. They've made some more figures of Carnage before, but the detail just never meets what they did right here way back in 2015. You can find this Miles minifigure along with the Carnage in set 760-36 Carnage's Shield Sky Attack. Came in 2015 and it only retailed for $13. The next Miles Spider-Man minifigure is from the year 2015. So 2 years after the first one, we got our next Miles. He came in also another relatively cheap set, easy to get. Coincidentally, it also included Carnage. But if you look carefully, you'll see that this newer Carnage, which is the most recent Carnage that they still use today, is not even close to the previous Carnage. Though since this video is supposed to focus on Miles, we'll really focus on him for the rest of the video, I promise. I think this Miles is a pretty solid improvement over his predecessor. While the previous one was a bit more cartoony, this one definitely takes inspiration from the comics as opposed to any cartoon. The printing on the torso is a lot more crisp. You can especially notice this on the head. The eyes don't really have much shading in there. They are mainly pure white, and just the printing and the head just make this character look a lot more crisp. I did want to point out that the Peter Parker Spider-Man in this set that he came in has the dual molded legs. You might wonder, why does Miles not have dual molded black and red legs? That's because the way he's always looked in comics, cartoons, and even the animated movies, he doesn't have any red boots. So just having plain black legs in this case is entirely appropriate. I know LEGO fans, including myself, often complain about how a lot of LEGO superhero minifigures just don't have leg printing, which I do find very annoying, especially the brand new Green Goblin that is coming out. Check that video out, link above. It did pretty well for my channel. But anyway, I think this figure looks perfectly fine with no leg printing. You can find this 2019 version of this minifigure in set 76113 Spider-Man Bike Rescue. For some reason, I thought this version of this minifigure came in multiple sets, but he only came in the one set. Moving on to 2021, here we have another new interpretation of the Miles figure. If you're a fan of the Spider-Verse movies, you can see where this minifigure got his inspiration from. This figure does feature dual molded legs. The dark gray is meant to represent some shorts, while the black is his suit underneath. Of course, you have that now iconic red jacket. You got the printing on the torso, the red arms. You also have a very nice red hood. This is a figure that I kind of wish I had gotten at the time, as he was pretty readily available in a very small set, along with a very big set, which we'll look at in a few moments. Overall, the printing, fantastic. The legs do feel a little off to me. It's nothing that drives me crazy or anything. I just wish that the legs had just a little printing, just to show that those gray things are shorts, because to me they kind of look like he has gray pants with black boots, though I know they're supposed to be shorts. I think Lego could have added just a little printing. All it needed really were some pockets on the side, and I would pretty much know exactly what that's supposed to be. The smallest set you can find this minifigure in is set 76171, Miles Morales Mech Armor. It was $10 and it came out in 2021. The other set that you can find this minifigure in is of course the largest Lego Spider-Man set of all time. That is set 76178 Daily Bugle, which of course retailed for $350. Like I said, of all of the Lego Miles Morales Spider-Man, this is the most unique, it's the most different. I might actually go ahead and add this to my collection, see if I can find him for maybe $5 on Bricklink. He shouldn't be that expensive because he did come in the big set, but he did come in the very tiny set. Like I said, you can probably find this figure for cheap, unlike the most expensive Miles Morales Spider-Man, but of course we'll check him out at the end of this video. Now we're gonna pivot to some 4+ Spider-Man sets. These sets are, well, let's just take a look at the images. Right here we have the 4+ Miles Morales, the first one released. He was released in 2022. You can find this version in two different sets. Set 10781 Spider-Man's Technotrike for $10, 10784 Spider-Man Web Warrior Hangout for $50. These are some very juniorized Lego minifigures, very reminiscent of Mighty Micros, as we talked about in my Every Lego Flash video. There was the one Mighty Micros set for the Flash. Here we have Miles Morales Spider-Man. He has the mid legs, so his legs can move. They're not as tall as the normal legs, and they're not as short as the short legs. This minifigure actually kind of reminds me of the first Miles figure we looked at, though he does lack the muscle definition. I guess these are a lot more kid-looking characters for a kid's cartoon. I wouldn't really think too much about it. I think it's fine for kids. Personally, it's really not for me, but if you are a super big Spider-Man fan who collects everything, you're probably going to want to add this to your collection. Two more variants of the Miles Spider-Man in this kind of juniorized 4+ look also exist. They actually came out just this year in 2023, and you can find them in two different sets. The first one comes in set 10790, Team Spidey at Green Goblin's Lighthouse. You can find that for $35. This is meant to represent a underwater variant and is probably my favorite of the three that we're going to look at. If I had to get one, I would probably go ahead and just pick this one. I think the head is the same as the previous one. He just has that bubble dome on top so that he can go underwater. I like the red on the torso. I like that yellow spider symbol. It's pretty bright, pretty vibrant. Overall, a pretty nice minifigure for what it's supposed to be. Finally, the third juniorized Miles comes in one other set in 2023. That is set 10791 Team Spidey's Mobile Headquarters, retailing for $50, available right now. This Miles is not like a special version as far as I know. It's just meant to be the regular one in the TV show for kids. He does feature black legs instead of the red legs. I actually had to look up an image of the cartoon. This version actually does have red boots, surprisingly enough. I assume that's not from the comics. I'm assuming it's something that the show just made up just to give him a little bit more detail and to let you know that he's also Spider-Man. They could have done some red printing on the legs, though for this character in Lego form, I think he looks a lot better with just black pants instead of the red. The head also appears to be the same, though the torso is different with that bright blue spider symbol right in the middle of his chest. Now that we got those minifigures out of the way, let's talk about what I consider to be the best Lego Miles Morales ever made, and the only one that, in my opinion, you should buy right now. This 2023 version of the character is the best. He has the best detail, the best printing. He's up to date and he goes with all of your other Marvel minifigures. I like the red detail, nice gray printing, nice head. We have the return of that blue color in the eyes, which does add a bit more interest and depth to the head. Not only is he the best, but he is the easiest to obtain. He comes in a $25 set. That is set 76244, Miles Morales versus Morbius. In this set, you get the Miles figure, you get a Miles Morales spider car, which is fine, you know, it's a nice toy for kids. Not bad looking car, it actually looks kind of cool. But putting Morbius and the car aside, the Miles Morales minifigure is spot on. This minifigure is not only widely available, but he is comic accurate, and this is a minifigure that I will probably add to my collection. Right here is the PlayStation exclusive Miles Spider-Man. He was released in the year 2020 to go along with the Spider-Man Miles Morales video game. So the story is that he was going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Like they do every year, they have some minifigures and they do a sort of giveaway, sweepstakes, raffle to get him. But because they didn't have Comic-Con, they decided to give it away if you complete a portion of the video game and you turn something in or submit some type of form and you were entered into a raffle to get this minifigure. What makes this minifigure super rare is that only 1,650 copies exist. So they made that quantity, only certain people were able to win it, and that is it. You can't find this minifigure in any set, and you probably never will again. Because of that, his value is absolutely insane. If you go on eBay, you'll see people selling him from as low as $3,000 up to $4,000 and above that. So the cheapest you're going to be finding him, or at least what I saw just looking him up on eBay, in my opinion, that's not worth it. I would not buy this figure. I think the figure himself looks great. Of course, the reference is going to be the video game, exclusive torso, legs, and waist and head. This is the only Miles minifigure to have printing on his legs and his waist, which is pretty cool and makes me wish that at least one other version had that extra printing, though I won't be paying thousands of dollars just for that. Now listen, if you have the money to be able to buy an expensive figure like this, and you really want to add him into your collection, by all means do so. But of course, as I always say at the beginning of my videos, this channel is for the common Lego fan. I am a common Lego fan, and I do not have thousands of dollars to spend on a single minifigure. My advice, if you like this minifigure, just don't get it. Just control yourself and instead save your money, which you can use for other Lego. Thousands of dollars worth of Lego, just save that and you can buy all sorts of different sets. You can buy that Morbius, Miles Morales Spider-Man car for $25, and there you have a pretty good Spider-Man minifigure, which I think is as good as this, honestly. The only reason this is so expensive is just because the rarity and the scarcity of the figure, but you really don't have to get this to get a really nice minifigure, as I showed you in the previous set. Well, I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments which Miles Morales minifigure is your favorite. Are there any that you would like to add to your collection? Are there any you don't have? Which ones do you have? Please like the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And go check out my previous Flash video if you'd like to see every Lego Flash ever made. Keep building, have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video on my channel, Pete's Bricks.